Today's iteration of imperialist capitalist environmentalism is the product of visual representations of nature that justify Euro-white settler colonialism and sustain war by prioritizing aesthetics over human connection with the earth. Nearly all of us experience wilderness through visual reproductions. Whether it's an Instagram photo, laptop wallpaper, or the calendar hanging on your wall, these idyllic scenes dictate our perceptions of nature. As it turns out, this has been happening for a while. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, early American representations of landscapes shaped liberal environmentalism and its perpetualization of the very systems that destroy the natural world. Thus, to decolonize environmentalism, we must decolonize our visual understandings of nature. In the late 1820s and 1830s, transcendentalist painters utilized logical, stepwise compositions to impose a sense of order on the land, catering to the everyday American for whom the West often seemed overwhelming and threatening. Though transcendentalism claimed to reject scientific rationalizations of nature, the paintings simply provided a new framework to tell the same old story of human domination over the environment. The paintings actively erased evidence of slavery and genocide, and even the existence of indigenous American populations, to completely separate perceptions of land from the country's history of colonization, extermination, and exploitation. Instead, they featured log cabins and happy families that idealized rural life, encouraging white New Englanders to leave behind their polluted, industrialized cities for Western paradise. Both strategies promoted Euro-white settler colonialism, valuing the aesthetics of land over indigenous lives, culture, and autonomy. Forced displacement, the process that created the seemingly empty land, removed indigenous groups from their homelands, severing some of the last communal, reciprocal, and respectful human relationships with the earth. Transcendentalism went on to become hugely influential in the early American environmentalist movement. The Sierra Club, the National Park Service, and nearly all the foundational environmentalist writings were products of transcendentalist ideology and its painted representations that were rooted in colonialism. Fast forwarding a century or so, in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, political and social campaigns used landscape photography to promote environmentalism and land preservation. Similar to the transcendentalist paintings, the photos used compositions that established order within nature and created digestible, organized visuals. Instead of log cabins, the photos tantalized the everyday American with the prospect of recreation and a vacation to the West. And of course, these images successfully sugar-coated the land as pristine and untouched, by cropping out any signs of the ethnic cleansing that had vacated such spaces. At the same time, the United States military was engaging in relentless bombing campaigns and dropping millions of gallons of herbicides in Vietnam, chronically destabilizing the entire country's ecology. By ignoring our government's systematic environmental degradation through foreign intervention, landscape photography and liberal environmentalism prioritized the conservation of the American wilderness over the protection of any other life, agriculture, or ecosystems on Earth. Following in the footsteps of the paintings and photos that produced it, today's liberal environmental movement continues to forward a diluted conceptualization of the natural world in order to perpetuate and coexist within systems of imperialist corporate capitalism and Euro-white settler colonialism. Addressing the root of environmental complacency means creating new visual representations that confront human exploitation and depletion of the land, and acknowledge how Euro-white powers have used the natural world as a tool in colonization, enslavement, and genocide throughout history. Transforming the ways in which we simply see the land and life around us will cultivate an environmental movement whose advocacy and activism extend beyond the aesthetically valuable aspects of nature and encompass the entire self-sustaining collaborative ecosystem of Earth and all of its inhabitants.